Hello, Ritesh.
Yeah, listen.
Okay, so we will start within another minute.
Okay, okay.
Uh, Ritesh, shall we start? Hello?
Yeah, yes, sir. We can start.
Yeah. Uh, so, good afternoon to all the participants. Uh, in this session, Mr. Ritesh is once again going to take over all of us to the introductory part of the virtual reality, and is also going to discuss about the Unity 3D software as well. So I request Ritesh Sharma to take over the session now.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, sir. And start sharing my screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's visible.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so now welcome back, everyone. So in morning, we talked about the softwares that we are using and what are the other available softwares in the market. Some of them commercial, some of them open source. And we had gone through the installation. We have already gone through the installation. Whatever problem some of you were facing, we discussed about it. So I presume that everybody has installed all the softwares which are required for the FDP, and every now and then during the FDP we would require to install some more libraries as well for the usage. We had kept it out of the scope of the document that we had sent to you because they are very specific to the experiments that you we are going to conduct. Yeah, so every now and then, whenever the need arises for any kind of library, we'll install that. Otherwise, the basic softwares are what we have given to you, and I hope everybody has installed it. So this session is in particular just to get you introduced to the world of VR. So what are and specifically related to Unity 3D. So what is this environment? How do you uh, make models in it? How do you animate anything in this, how do you script everything. So we'll go through a very introductory session in this particular session. You can consider it like the first C code that you ever wrote, which was Hello World. So this is like Hello World for it. So I would request everyone to just start the Unity Hub. Go to your start menu in Windows and type Unity. You will get the option to run Unity Hub, run that application, and come to this particular screen. So for you, there will be no projects here to be shown. I have few projects that I have worked on earlier, so that's why some projects are being shown here. Otherwise, for you, there will be nothing. So it might say that no project to show or something. So as you can see in this Unity Hub, we have gone through it. So this is the setting part where you manage your licenses and do other general settings for it. Okay, so license management and release and everything, out of which license management is what we dealt with in the morning session. So we won't touch this part now. I'm assuming it is taken care of for everyone. So after this, all are and similarly for the installation of a Unity, I'm assuming that everybody has installed this particular version 2019.4.17 F1, which is the LTS version, which stands for long-term support. And you can install multiple versions. As you can see, I have another version which was older version, but we don't need this at the moment. What we need is this one, and just so that all of us are on a common platform. On Unity, it matters what version of Unity you are using. In most of the languages, there is back support, but in Unity, it asks for the very specific version. So it's important that all of you have this version, so that there is no problem while we are doing the project. Okay, so we'll come to the installs is done, then we'll come to the projects tab, where you will find add and new two buttons. So for example, here you can see that I have already two projects here. So you will, if I just click on any of the project, it will start that project for me. But as we are going through the very first phase of it, so most of you will not have this. You will have just add and new. So what you have to do is just click on new. Okay, so which will bring you to such screen. So here you have to select 3D, because what we are going to work with is the 3D visualization. Okay, you can name the project anything. Okay, it's not necessary that you name it what I have named it. You can name it anything, any name you can give it. And then location, there will be some default location here. If you want to change that particular location, then you can click on the location part and select wherever you want to it to be stored. Okay. Uh, right. So I have already used this location. So for me, it is showing what I have used earlier. For you, it might be documents or desktop by default. And then you have to go to the location where you want. You can create a new folder as well. Name it something like, for example, I have named it FDP BMSC Jam 21. You can name it anything in similar lines, so that you can keep a record. Otherwise, store it anywhere. And after you click on create, so once location is sorted, project name has been given, here you have selected 3D, then you click on create. Okay, so which starts the Unity developer console. So that's the VR engine. So it takes some time, it's a heavy software. Okay. And once all that is done, you will see a screen like this. Okay, so this is a blank environment right now. Here you can see that, like, so by default it has like sky simulation and ground simulation, but with no object on it. So essentially what you are seeing is, so you can see there is this camera kind of thing here shown, like a video camera, right? So video camera is which actually its name by default comes as main camera. So camera is what shows you the whatever environment you're trying to build. So this camera shows you the perspective of it. So when you start in the VR, so for example, I clicked on main camera, it opened a camera preview here. So what it means is that when you start the VR application, this is what you are going to see. Currently, there is no object here, so you are not seeing anything. But once we start putting in objects, you will start seeing those objects. Okay, so that's about main camera. Then by default, another thing comes, which is directional light, which is nothing but a light source which is responsible for making the objects that you put in this environment visible, as well as casting their shadows to give them a realistic view. So this is like they are showing it with the symbol of sun, that the rays would be coming like this. So I hope everybody is on the same page with me. If anybody is lagging anywhere, you can just unmute yourself and ask me to repeat if you want.
Yeah, participants, if you have any issues, feel free to interrupt, and then we can go ahead all together.
Yeah. So because I won't be seeing the messages that often, I'll have another screen open. So it's better if you can just unmute yourself and ask me to repeat. So I'll go through it once again. I'll close this window. And one more thing is there that I'm using a Linux system, but uh, it just changes the way I'm starting things. Otherwise, the application-wise, everything is similar. So for you, what you have to do is at the bottom on your Windows system, you will have this start menu. So there you will have the column for search. Just type Unity Hub there. So you will get option to click on one application called Unity Hub. So which opens something like this. Okay, so this interface is same. I'm using Linux, but for Windows also it would be same. Okay, now those who have already done this, they don't need to do it. But those who couldn't follow, please do this. So here I'm assuming that you have signed up with Unity, you have done the license management, and then you have done the installs as well. Okay, so and I'm assuming that everybody has this particular version 2019.4.17 F1, which you can see in installs, whether it is there or not. Okay, so this Android symbol is coming because we had to get Android build support as well. So that we can take our applications onto a mobile phone, which we are not going to do today, but in future sessions we'll do that as well. Then projects, will come to projects. Here, uh, all of you would be starting for the first time. So what you have to do is you have to click on new. You have to click what you have to select what kind of application you are making, which in our case is a 3D application. So we'll click on 3D. Okay, so Unity is a very versatile kind of engine. So on this you can create 2D games, 3D games, VR, XR, AR, all kind of applications. So what we are building is a 3D application, 3D VR application. So we'll select this. We'll provide a name to our project. If we have a preferred location to store other than the default location that is shown there, and just click on those three dots and set that particular location which you want, and then just click on create. So that will do the initial setup. Like it will start the engine for you. This Unity Hub is just an interface for starting the project, and this is not the actual software on which you are going to work. The actual software is what you have installed here. So this is the editor which gets called once you start to create a new project, or if you have already have a project, then for example, this is the project I just created, BMS D1 S3. So I'll just click on this. So this will start that particular experiment for me. It will open the editor window. So over here we haven't made any changes so far. So this is what all of you would be seeing. So on top you will find three windows everybody will see. So first one is scene, second one is game, third one is asset store. Okay, so scene is where you do all the physical. Yeah.
Program number? What word search? Program number you tell me 6 1.
Uh, Anybody asking anything?
One second. I am trying to find out. I think somebody has
Okay.
turned on their mic.
Okay, maybe accidentally. Okay, fine. I'll continue.
Yeah, you can continue.
Alright. Okay, so the first tab here on top would be scene. So scene is where you do all the physical settings like uh, locating your object, rotating them for the initial setup, for the initial scene. Whatever you want to do, you do it on this particular window in the scene. Then game is what you see when your application is running. So currently you can see that nothing is being shown here because there is no object. There is just one camera, one light. So what you are seeing here is what is the view coming from that camera, and light is just lighting it up so that you can see objects. And third tab is asset store, which is Unity's store, just like your Play Store and App Store. Okay, so where you can search for the games or any other application or even assets like any develop any interfaces or libraries for development in Unity. All that you can find here. Okay, so we will not be using the asset store much because we are going to create everything. Uh, if you want anything default, for example,
Just a second, Ritesh.
yeah,
Uh, Dr. Duncan, Dr. Duncan, please mute your mic. Yeah, please go ahead, Ritesh.
yeah, sure. Okay, so here, for example, if you want to search for certain scene, for example, if you are building a game, you want a room location for it, and you don't want to build it, then you can search for that. If you are looking for some particular kind of object like a table, chair, all that you can do here. If you are looking for any kind of communication interface, that also you can find here if somebody has created it. Some of them are free, but many of them also have some cost in dollars associated with it. So yeah, that is there. That's the asset store. It's like your Play Store on your mobile phone, where you find out the libraries that you want to use, the ready-made libraries for Unity. Then game, as I told you, which shows the camera view. Then scene, where you do all the physical editing. Okay, so then on this side, so in hierarchy, you can see. So there is one the title called sample scene, which is for the initial name given to the scene. Okay, then here you have the main camera. Okay. So if you click on that, if it will give you a preview as well, which is same as seeing it here. Okay. And you can see that there are three arrows coming out of it. So these three,
Mr.
yeah.
Ritesh, there is some noise from your end probably because everybody has muted their mic.
Okay, okay, okay,
Uh,
fine.
can you please check it once?
Yeah, sure, I'll check it. Yeah, I hope it's better.
1 second.
I don't have any speaker on. I'm using microphones. So if there is
Yeah,
an
please
echo,
go ahead.
and it's not from my side. Okay. So as I was saying, that when you click on any of, so these are called game objects. So these are objects in the scene. Okay, so two default objects that you get is the main camera and directional light. Directional light, as I told you, it's that sun symbol, which gives light in a particular direction. Okay. So when I click on any of those two objects, what you see is those three arrows coming out of it. This is nothing but arrows for moving it in any of the three axes. Okay, so in the space you can run it. You can just, for example, if I want to vary its location in Z. So here top is Y, this thing is X, and the coming towards you is Z. So if I uh, click on Z and try to bring it to my side, you can see that here the Z location will also change. So it's going, yeah, right. So that is there. Then if I change it in X direction, so that can also be changed. If I change it in Y direction, that can also be changed. Okay. So this is for changing its position in uh, 3 dimensions. Similarly, you can rotate it as well. So if I use this, because this is camera, we don't want the camera to be rotated, so I won't rotate it. But yeah, camera position you can change using this. Similarly, for any other object, even directional light, you can bring it closer or farther away from the object. Okay. So yeah, so that is there. So I hope everybody is clear up to this point. So for navigation in the view, so one easy way to navigate around is using the normal gaming keys that we use, WASD. But for using them, what you have to do is right click on your mouse and then use those keys. Then you can like move around in the scene. So I can come behind the camera. So that helps while you are building a big scene. Here we won't be making that much of a big scenario, so it is fine for us to even see it from this location. But if you want to navigate around, right click on your mouse and then just press WASD, so that will change your perspective while you are building it. So it's like, if you can imagine, if I'm building the full industry setup, it would be quite helpful to go around the object if I want to zoom on something so that I can animate it. So that thing helps. Okay. Right now we don't have any object, so it's not looking very helpful. Yeah, so we'll start our scene. So for any kind of scenario, the first thing that we would require is a floor, right? So that gives us a sense of uh, real world, that there is certain floor on which any object can reside. What you can do is, in this sample scene, so on this window, just right click uh, and click on 3D objects. So here is some default 3D objects are given here. So for example, you can have a cube, you can have a sphere, you can have a capsule, cylinder, plane, quadrangle, uh, you can have a text, trees as well, wind zone. So there are certain options. What we'll use for our this particular session is a cube, because when so what we are going to do in this particular session is that we are going to rotate the cube, and we'll also see how to interact with that cube. Why cube? Because when you rotate cube, the shadows and shades fall on different face differently. Sphere, while rotating, it's difficult to figure out whether it is rotating or not, because the shades and shadows don't change much. But in case of cube, it changes, so it makes more visually, it's easy to visualize it. So what we will do is we'll click on cube 3D object. So now you can see one object has come in front of our camera. So now if I click on camera,
Ritesh,
yeah,
once again,
yeah,
one participant has asked, he has mistakenly closed the scene or pane or window. How to relaunch or reopen? That is
which
what he has.
window? Which window?
Uh, he has posted the message in the chat box. I have closed the scene, pane or window.
Okay. So you can go to Windows. On top there will be Windows section, Windows, and click on Scene. So that will start that. So you have all kind of windows here: Scene, Project Instructor, Hierarchy. If you have closed it accidentally, just click on that. And yeah, don't close it because that's required.
Hello,
Hello.
Ritesh.
Ritesh
Yeah.
sir, actually I have a problem here.
Okay.
I have installed this project and I have installed this 2019.4.17 F1.
Okay.
After that, I did not get the 3D and other files, sir. Actually, how to, shall I share my screen and show it to you?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. I'll stop
Because I'm not
sharing.
able to, proceed further because of this.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, please.
Yeah, sure. Yes. 1 second. Can you see the screen, sir?
It's coming up. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So installation hasn't completed for you. That's why that is happening.
Okay, so but I have gone to install and I have selected that.
Yeah, you have selected, but it is as you can see, it is at halfway. So
Okay,
that's what I had told
so
that it's a huge software, so it will take some time. You can't
okay,
cancel
so
it.
once it is done,
Yeah,
will I
once
get
it
that
is done,
3D
then,
and other files?
exactly. So once it is done,
So
then you will get all the options because it will require some editor, some Unity editor to work on. So
okay,
it is not installed before. So
okay,
what
then
I'll,
I'll just wait.
yeah.
Ritesh
So
sir.
yeah,
Ritesh sir.
yeah.
In my window, directional light is not visible.
Doesn't matter. I'll tell you how to get those lights in.
Okay.
So
Shall I stop sharing the
yeah, you
screen,
can
sir?
stop sharing. So if you can just follow the lecture for now, what I'll also do is because as sir told, recording is there. So I guess you can
Okay,
request
sure,
him for
sure.
the recording later, and then you can follow.
Okay, thank you, Ritesh, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So one of the faculty here pointed out that light is not visible. So it is supposed to be there by default, but in any case, if it is not there, then it's just an object. What you can do is you can go to light and click on directional light.
Sir,
So
your
that,
screen is not visible.
sorry, yeah, I forgot I have stopped sharing. Yeah, I hope it is now. Yeah, it's visible.
Visible, sir.
All right. Okay. So by default, directional light is supposed to be there, but in any case, if it is not there of you or ever you accidentally delete it in this particular object, so it's very easy to get it back. Just right click. So as I told you, we are just like cube, you can get lights as well. So there's a tab called light here, in which you have all kind of lights. If you want directional light, particularly, just click on directional light. That will bring this light here for you. I have it already, so I won't click, but that's how you get it. Yes, I hope it is there for you now. So then we got this cube. So what we can do is we can see that is it coming properly for us, right? If it is visible in the scene, so I can see it is a little bit tilted towards the left. So I can either move my camera or move the object to bring it in center. And now when it is here, so what I'll also do is I'll move the box a little up, and then I can see that okay, it is coming here. So these are all the physical adjustments that you can do. Correct. And similarly, because now it's a cube, it's our game object. Camera I didn't rotate, but for obvious reasons that you don't want a tilted camera. But object you can rotate around. So I'll show you how to do that. So here you have all the options for doing any kind of function, rotation or translation function on the game objects. So by default, it's always on this tool. Okay, so which makes us to translate it in the environment. If we want to rotate it, all we have to do is just click on this symbol here, and then it gives us such interface. So that you will see a few circles. So which is again XYZ direction. You can move it. Okay, so for example, if you can click on any of those lines and click on it and drag it. That will make it rotate. So now if I see the game object, you will see that it's tilted that way. And if I want to tilt it this direction also, then you will see that, okay, now this is appearing like this, right? So any way you want, you can do this. So I'll just make sure that I can see different faces of the cube. Yeah. Okay, so now why I did this is that you have 3 shades of cube now, so that will give you a good sense of rotation when it does the rotation. Okay, so you have a light face here, a little darker face here, and absolute dark face here. So when it rotates, so you'll be able to visualize it properly. And so similarly, you can also set it this way. If you want to keep it at default, that is also fine. But this is how you rotate it using this symbol. Okay, so that's about the cube. Now, for example, right now I haven't put any animation or anything. So even if so these symbols here, which is very common to you all, like for any music player or DVD player or anything, you have such kind of symbols. So play, pause. So these are for running your particular application, whatever you are building. So right now there is no animation in this. So when you click on it, it by default comes to the game mode. So now scene, even if you are on scene or a set store, it will come to the game window, which is the window where the actual application is happening. So right now you can see it is just static. There is nothing. Why? Because we haven't made any script for it to rotate. Okay, so which brings us to another aspect of it, which is scripting. Before doing that, as I told you that we need a floor so that we can get a sense of shadows. So in 3D object only, so here right click 3D object, click on plane. Okay, so that will build this plane here. I'll just rotate it a bit. Yeah. So now you can see that this shadow is being casted by this particular object. So that just makes the scene more realistic in certain ways. If you have a plane in your view. Okay, yeah, so that's it. Now if you want to bring the object closer or farther away from the camera, you can, there are 2 ways. Either you bring object closer to the camera or you bring camera closer to the object. So there's nothing very special there. It's a simple perspective. Yeah. Now scene will look something like this. So that's it. Now, as I told you, so the important aspect of Unity software is that you can write scripts in it. So it is not just a 3D object modeling here, but you can provide some kind of animation to it. So we'll start with a very simple one in which we are not going to do any interaction, but a simple like the when I click on play, it should make this cube rotate. Okay, so On your left hand side under the project section, you will find a folder called assets. So what is assets? It is nothing but all kind of objects, materials, or scenes, or scripts that you create. All that can be stored here. So which are used by the code. So whenever you click on play, the control goes to this assets folder. Whatever is there, that is called. If you have at all called it in your main scene, and it is used. So what we can do here is, like if I go to assets folder, I can create a new folder. So it's always better to create a new folder. I can create a file directly here, but it's always better to have a little bit of modularity and like a clean space for development. So, and that will create a new folder. You can name it scripts, or you can name it anything. Scripts will just be easier to understand that what is there inside this particular folder. Then you can go inside the scripts. So it's an empty folder, of course, because we haven't created anything. So inside scripts, you again right click and go to the create tab, and here you have all kind of options. So what do you want to create here? So we say we want to create a C# script. Okay, and I will name it rotate, for obvious reasons that I am going to use this particular script to rotate the game object. So that makes it easier to understand for me later. That's what did I write in this particular code. Okay, and then you simply just double click on this. So that will open up whatever either notepad or Sublime editor or code editor, whatever you have on your system. It will open as some kind of code editor. Okay, for me, it's opening Visual Studio Code. And so just make sure that all of us are on the same page. I request if somebody hasn't followed till here, they can ask if there is any question. And let me know also that if I go too fast with this. Yeah. Now this is nothing but a simple script for. Currently, it is nothing. It's just a blank script. What we are going to do is we are going to edit whatever is there by default. So certain things you get by default here, and then what you do is you edit the code and like according to your requirements. So there is a huge library. So Unity is not just the editing software; it has a huge library, C# library for, and which contains a lot of functions for providing the kind of animation that you want. So which makes the job quite easier compared to if you had to do it all by yourself. Okay, for example, if I'm saying that we want to rotate it, right? So if I just simply type Unity 3D rotate. Okay, so there will be this whole documentation for this, that how can you rotate, right? So they which will start from the very basics, that okay, what are the kind of rotations that are available. Okay, and it will talk about the library. For example, transform.rotate function is there. So it will talk about it, that what this particular function does. This is the function that we are going to use in our project also. Okay, so here you get all the definitions. And so make sure, like if you ever think of proceeding further in this domain, so this is like go-to thing for you to do. To check out the docs.unity3d.com, which has all the APIs, definition of all the functions in it, and which you can use, right? And it's a really good and comprehensive thing. You will find all the resources here only. You don't have to search anywhere else. Right. So our requirement is that we want to rotate our game object. Right. So what we'll do is first so void start is so if you want something to be there by default, like for the very initial section, so I'll tell you how the control goes here. So in C sharp, everything is class. So all the code that you write, it is in form of classes. So those who are from CSC or EC background, or even other backgrounds, C, C++, all of us know. So C, as we know, C has no class, but C++ onwards, the concept of class and object-oriented starts. So C sharp is completely object-oriented. Everything is a class here. Even the main, like for example, in C++, you write the main function. Here, the main function starts with the name of that particular code. So, as you can see, that the name of this class is rotate. Right. So it has two sections by default, which is given. So one is void start. Void start is nothing but initialization. So it starts before the frame updation starts. Whatever you write inside this particular function will get executed. But after that, like that would be the first 0.1 second. After that, whatever happens, that happens inside this update. And you can define your user defined functions as well, which we will come to later on. Okay, so the main thing here is that we want to use the function called transform.rotate. Now, as I told you that you can find all those functions here. Okay, and for writing a transform.rotation also, you have different kind of syntaxes to write it. One is in which you define the angle of rotation. Okay, something like this. And the other one is in which you define which vector do you want to rotate. For example, something like this, that you will say that vector 3 dot up change its rotate that particular function, that particular axis of the game object. Okay. So essentially what it takes is it takes three angle values, x, y, and z. Okay, everything is in three axis here. So three axis rotation, three axis translation. So all in all, you get control over 6 axis if you combine the rotation and the translation, just like any robot programming if somebody has done. So even in robotics, you get 6 things to control for changing position and orientation of end effector. So this is same way. Animation works on the same principles as robotics. So in rotation, of course, we'll have 3 angles. We won't have translations. So X angle, Y angle, Z angle. Okay. So yeah, so we'll start with our code. So in update, we'll write transform dot rotate, and then we will define, okay, which axis do we want to rotate. For example, if I write 0.0, then I say write 90 here, 90.0. We'll see how this code behaves. Okay, it won't do the things that we want it to do, but I'll show you why. So yeah, so that's it. So I've clicked it this, that okay, transform rotate. I've provided 3 angles, 0, 90.0. So what I'm saying is y angle rotated by 90 degrees. So everything gets compiled internally. Okay, so we are getting 3 errors here. Cannot convert from double to float. Okay, yeah. So in C sharp, what we have to do is we have to specify the difference between double and float also. So we use letter F for that. So F means that this will be a float value. So I hope that error would be gone. Okay. So yeah. So now this is a script. okay, which we have created, but we haven't added it to our scene. So what is to be rotated? So how would that happen? So all that we have not defined. So what we will do is, what first we have to decide which thing do we want to rotate out of all those things. Do we want to rotate the camera or the light or the cube? Of course, we want the cube to rotate. We don't want the plane or camera or anything else to rotate. So we'll click on cube. Okay, I'll click on this rotate script and just drag it to this window, which is inspector window, which is on the extreme right side. Okay, so whatever script I have written, I will take it to this side, but after clicking on the object that I want to rotate. So I click on cube, then I click on rotate. I don't release my mouse key and just drag it to this particular object here. So these are all the properties of this object. Okay, we have added one more property here, which is rotate script. Yeah, I hope everybody is following me till this step. So now if I click on this, right, so now you would see that I told it to rotate, but nothing is happening here, and which is what I told you earlier, that it won't behave the way we want it to behave because of one reason. The reason is that we are updating it, but we haven't provided any time frame to it or a time reference to it. Okay. Yeah. So one second. Yeah. Okay, so now you compare this. This is what I had written just now. Okay, and this is the script that actually will do that job of rotating it. Now you can see the difference, that I have provided a number that rotate by this angle, but I didn't provide any time frame to it, like when to rotate it. So this particular variable time dot delta time does that job. Okay, so you can type it down. Okay, so what I'm doing now is that whatever angle I want to rotate it with, so this is angle plus it will act as a speed also, that at what speed it should rotate. So so when I multiply it with time, it will rotate with that particular speed. So now I have updated my script that multiply it with time. Now you can see it has started rotating. So we can rotate it in any direction. Right now I have given I've written the code to rotate it in y-axis, but we can change that axis. We can make it x, y, z, whatever we want. So that's the first, that sums up the first practical that we are doing. So here you can see that y-axis is this way. When I click on this object, y-axis is this way. That's why it is rotating like this. It is rotating across y-axis. If I write z-axis, it will start rotating like this. If I write x-axis, it will start rotating left to right, clockwise or anti-clockwise. So this is there. So this is very basic. This is like the hello world of VR environment, VR development, in which we have just rotated one object. But in VR, it is no good if we cannot interact the object that is there in the scene. And one more thing is there, that in VR, you have the facility to look around. So for example, when you uh, wear your VR headset, you have some application running. If you rotate your head, it should change the scene, which is not happening here. Like even if I try, no, I can't rotate. Like even if I'm rotating, changing my mouse or something, nothing is happening because we haven't included what is required for that particular operation. As I told you, Unity is not just for VR development. It has a lot of aspects to it. VR is just one of it. So for making a VR application, you have to actually include some certain VR libraries, which are also available in open source provided by Google. So when we use those libraries, so currently it is nothing but you can say it is an animation video in which one cube is rotating. But in all practical applications, for VR, you would want to interact with it. You would want that kind of functionality where you can look around while certain scene is happening. So that is what makes VR different from any other kind of application. So yeah, so we'll do that. So for that, as I told you, we would require a library which would enable VR functionality for us, and that library is called Google VR SDK. So you just have to go to your Google search engine and type in Google VR SDK. Okay, and for that the first option that you get is in the results is developers.google.com. So just click on that link where it will talk about the quick start to get the Google VR SDK running. So Google has been, since beginning itself, it has been doing everything related to VR as an open source project. So uh, so you might have heard of Google Cardboard, okay, which is a very cheap version of any kind of VR headsets, okay, which is nothing but VR headset you can create using cardboards. So this is one replica of it, because this is what it looks like. It's simply it is what its name suggests. It is made up of a cardboard only, not even plastic, with some lenses and all that. So this was just to get everybody familiar with VR for a very cheap cost. So after this came, then only a few of other companies came with their own plastic version of the same thing as well. For example, here you can see it is quite cheap, and similarly you will find a lot of other headsets which like depending on their cost will have better visual quality and all that, but yeah, you can find it for cheap. So Google had come up with this SDK stands for the software development kit, for enabling to not just to visualize but to create as well, to create VR application for free. So here what you can see is that initial setup is just the Unity setup which we have already done. So if you come down, there is a option, there is one title here, download the Google VR SDK for Unity. So which is on their GitHub source code also you can find, and but what we need is the Unity package. Okay, so for all of you, just click on this Google VR for Unity 1.200.1 Unity package. So whatever browser you are using, it will give you option for saving that particular file. I've already done it, so I won't do it, but what you have to do is click on save file. So it's a very small package, 33 MB only, so won't take much time to install. So I'll wait for all of you to have this particular thing downloaded, and I hope all of you followed me till here. That just Google on Google VR SDK. click on Quick Start for Google VR SDK, come down and download the Google VR SDK for Unity. So where it says release page, just click on that. That will take you to their GitHub page. Download the latest release version, which is 1.200.1. So it is not updated that regularly, so which is a good and a bad thing. Good in a way that your application will run without any fault if you run it even after a year or 2 years. But the bad part is that you won't get any updates. So as you can see that this was released in 2009 July 18. So since then this is the package.
Sir, can you please show it again, sir?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so what you do is you click on Google VR, you just search for Google VR SDK on any browser you want, and then just click on the first option that you get among the all the results. So which should be developers.google.com and a quick start for Google VR SDK. So once you click on that link, you land on this page where you have a quick start. In quick start they talk about Unity as well, but we have already gone through all this, so we don't need it. And you just come down to download the Google VR SDK for Unity, where you will get this link. So click on release page. Clicking on this page will take you to their GitHub repository, where you will have the source code as well, but we don't have anything to do with the source code as of now. We just need this Unity package. So click on this package, and it will so your browser will give you option to save it. Save it. It will most probably come in your downloads folder on your system if you keep everything default. Yeah, so if anyone can type if they have done till this step, then I'll move forward. You can unmute and tell, or you can type it in. Otherwise, I'm assuming that you are still downloading.
So please, can you repeat once again?
Is it done? Somebody is doing.
So please repeat the steps for downloading.
Repeat the steps for
Downloading the SDK.
Yeah, which link? I am also not clear. The link.
Okay, so is everybody on this page? Download the Google V.
Google VR SDK. No, I am seeing Google VR SDK for Unity. Another developers.google.com.
Yes.
It appears a different page.
Okay, doesn't matter. So you will have on the left section you have all those tabs.
Yeah, Android and
yeah. So
Android
just click on Unity tab here.
yeah,
And
Unity.
yeah, then click on Quick Start for Android. Then scroll down.
There is no quick start for Android. Android manifest something. No.
No. Also, on left you have all so Android, NDK, Unity, Unreal, iOS.
Android is there. Yeah, correct. Android is there.
So not the Android. Go to the third option, which is Unity.
Android NDK. Then after that Unity. Yeah.
Yes. Click on Unity.
Yeah.
Then it will expand. Then click on Quick Start for Android.
No, I am not seeing that. It's Android manifest a class reference overview, etc. is coming. Shall I share my screen?
No, sir, no need for that. I'll put this link in
Or
chat
what is
box.
the link to be used?
I'm putting the link on chat box.
Okay.
So when you go to this link, the topmost version is what we need.
Okay.
Yeah. So just download this Google VR for Unity .unity package. Nothing else, just Unity package. Yeah, so it will get downloaded, and for those who are still downloading, you will also get it in a while. So we'll go through the steps what is required now. So
Okay.
what we'll do is come back to the Unity editor window uh, and click on the left side in the project section, click on assets, because now this Google VR what we are trying to get is also an asset. So it's a Unity package. So once you click on asset, you get this assets window here. Right click, then you get an option for import package. Right. So once you click not import new asset, make sure that you are clicking on import package, because you are going to download the whole package, not just one asset. So with that, you get an option for custom package. So wherever it has been downloaded. So for example, for me it is in downloads folder. Okay, so you might also have it in downloads folder only, unless you have changed the default location for downloads. So there you will find this option. So you just click on this Google VR for Unity. This either double click or click on open. So that will open such kind of window where it is asking you what and all you want to download from this whole package. We'll keep it default. So by default everything is selected. So we'll simply click on import. So this will take a few seconds to happen, because it's a big package which has all the scripts, models, and everything. Yeah. So once that is done, you will see that where you had earlier just had scenes and scripts, you will find a new folder called Google VR. I am hoping that everybody followed till this step.
Dear participants, is there any issues with whatever we have discussed till now? If you are lagging behind, you can please interrupt us.
Sir, we are doing, sir.
Okay. Okay, so then then I'll move further. So once this Google VR is there, now what we'll try to do is, so whatever I was saying that this and these things are lagging in this particular application, that currently it's just one animated cube which is rotating. One thing is that we can't move around and look around, and second thing is that we can't interact with it. So these two problems we'll try to solve using Google VR. So for which what we do is, so there are three um, packages inside this. So one is GVR editor emulator. So emulator creates the Google VR. It emulates the Google VR scenario or environment. Then we have GVR controller main, which is the main controller for the whatever game object is the player. So for controller for the player. Then we have GVR event system. So this particular asset is used for interacting with the VR scenario. Okay, so one by one we will search for those three things. So first one we can see it is GVR editor emulator. So how do we search? We have this lens like thing here in front of projects, right? So we whatever we want, we type it in here. So for example, I want GVR editor emulator. So for which this blue cube kind of thing will appear. So this is our emulator. You may see it in some other form, but it will look something like this. And what you have to do is just simply like any other thing, you just click on it. Don't release your left hand button on your mouse and drop it on the hierarchy. So that brings that particular asset to your main scene. So this is GVR emulator. Now, if you want to see what this emulator did to your scene, okay. Now I can see that I can rotate my head around. I can look around top, bottom, and all those things. I can even tilt the head. Okay, then second thing was the GVR controller main, which stands for the main player controller. So again, similar way, we will search for the controller. So we'll type in GVR controller main. Okay, so here we have just one option, so we'll just drag and drop it into our scene, the sample scene hierarchy window. Okay, and then the third is asset is GVR event system.
Ritesh, there is
yeah.
one participant is having some error in his program. He has posted it in the
Okay.
chat box.
Okay, class 1 event cannot exist in multiple nodes. Yeah, sure, go ahead. You can share your screen. Which one are we talking about? Okay, no, these are not errors. These are just warnings. Yes, on some of the system, Google VR comes with certain warnings. So unless it is an error, we are okay with it.
So when I tried to drag and drop this, it could not drag and drop, so that's the issue. So when I go to assets, and try to drag and drop, it is showing the last. Like,
no, don't. I didn't tell you to drag the whole thing there. You can drag only objects, game objects. So that's what I told. So where you have this lens, here you put in the search keyword, right? So as I told you that first thing is to go for GVR editor emulator. So you have to type in that here. That will give you one game object, game asset that you can drag and drop here. You don't drag and drop the whole folder.
This one?
This lens you can see in front of project. That's for searching. So I'll show you my screen. Yeah, here just search for, type in GVR.
GVR.
EDITOR editor. Yeah, so the first cube that you are seeing there, drag and drop. Yeah. So this emulates the Google VR scene. So now you, like if now you click on play. So now press Alt key on your keyboard
Yes.
and uh, move your mouse left to right.
Move it there.
Move left to right.
Alt.
Yeah. Right. So now you can move your head around. So this is the functionality you get with this. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, you can stop sharing now.
Okay.
Yeah. So now when that thing is sorted, so these are two. There are three main things. One is GVR editor emulator. One is GVR controller main, and then we have event system. So GVR event system. So what this event system does is this will create environment for interacting with the object. So similarly, just go to that search window, click search for GVR event system, drag and drop into your hierarchy. Okay. So this was the main stuff that was required. Now what you need is now how would you know that you are interacting with the object? For that you need certain kind of pointer. So GVR has its own reticle pointer also inside it. So for that again you have to go in the search box and type in GVR reticle pointer. Now there is with this there is a catch. Okay, radical pointer. Now this, all the other three things you just dragged and dropped them, but this radical pointer actually you have to drag and drop on top of main camera. So it will become a sub game object for main camera. So now you can see earlier you can see one dot in the middle. So this dot is what you get with this. So this is the pointer, radical pointer. Okay, so the control that I was showing you that you can move around, so it's very simple. What you have to do is whenever you are in the scene, so if you just click on GVR editor emulator, it gives you that information. So what you have to do is click Alt and then move your mouse left to right if you want to see left to right, or make it move up down if you want to relocate your head up and down. And if you just want to tilt, like if you want to simulate the tilting of your head, what you do for that is Control plus move mouse. So with that you can simply tilt the head. So when you tilt, it comes back to the default position, but when you change position in XY direction, that time it stays in that particular position. Like just to show you what I'm trying to say here. So right now I'm pressing Alt, and so then I can, even if I remove my finger from Alt and do not move my mouse, then I can stay at that particular location. But when I press Control I can tilt my head, but it comes back to the original position in the VR. Yeah. So I hope till here everybody is clear what we are doing here. Just make sure that this reticle pointer is inside the main camera. GVR editor emulator, GVR controller main, GVR event system, and reticle pointer. So these are the four main packages, inbuilt packages that we are going to use from Google VR for simulating the whole VR functionality. Okay, so now you would see that until now I'm saying that we can interact, but like nothing is happening. I can just see a dot, that's it. Like there is no interaction happening, right? So it is not happening because we haven't changed our script to do that, and we have to make certain changes in the game object as well. So what are those changes? First of all, we will go back to our script, which was rotate. So now what we will do is we will create a variable here. So if you want a variable to be visible outside your script, you type it as public. So that variable can be float or integer or anything. So for example, I'm making it float, and I'm naming it say direction. You can name it anything, and I'll say its value is 90.0f, which is the value that we are using here. So now instead of the value, I will type in that variable direction. You can name it anything. I'm just naming it for the ease of understanding. This variable can be named anything. So now it will do the same job, just that the value that you are hard coding here, you have put it into a variable. Okay. So till now everything remains same as it was earlier, but now what we will do is we will create another function. We can name it anything. We can name it flip, reverse, or anything. So what we want to achieve with this is that as you could see that the cube is rotating, but it is rotating in one particular direction, and there was no means for us to reverse that direction or flip it the other way around, which is what we are going to do now. So that we can do only when we are able to interact with the virtual reality. So what we want to do here is simply reverse the direction of movement. Okay, so for that it cannot be any simpler than this. Just write direction is equal to minus direction. Okay, so this is the simplest way you can do this. So what you have done here is you have created a function which just operates on this particular variable. Now, if I'm updating the variable, that will update it in this particular section as well, which is being called at every frame. So by frame, what I mean is that you know that video is nothing but a continuous images, like one image after the other image after the other image. So those who are from electronics background, they would already know, but and others would also. But just to repeat that fact, that whatever video you see is not a video; it's just images that are being. It's kind of a slideshow which is running very fast, so fast that you lose all the sense of means the difference between two images there. You feel it as if it is continuous. So that's how a video works. So when you download a video, or if there is some certain video game, it always comes with the frame per second information along with it. For example, if you go to buy a TV, so they will always boast about what is the frame per second rate with that particular digital TV if you get. For example, the older ones used to be 25 FPS, then 30 FPS, then 60 FPS came. Now as much as 180 FPS also you get, even on phone. So what is that FPS? That is frame per second. So what we mean by update here is that whatever you have written here, this will happen 60 times in 1 second. Okay, And reverse, if you call this function, this will be called just once whenever you call it. So, and start, as I told you, that it is called just one at the beginning, at one time at the beginning of your start when you play the application. So that's the difference here. So we have written direction is equal to minus direction. So that will change the value of direction for this update function as well. So for example, by default, it is 90.0. And so it will rotate as it was rotating earlier. But once you click on it, so that direction will become minus direction, which means 90 will become minus 90. Now it is going to do the rotation in the same axis, but in opposite direction. So that is what we want to achieve here. So that will give us an understanding of how to interact with those things. So what do we want to interact with? Of course, the cube. We don't want to interact with the plane or the sky around or anything else, or the camera. So now you can see the script. Earlier we could not see this particular number here. Why? Because it was not defined. It was a constant earlier, but now we have defined it as a variable, that too public variable. So it will be visible outside the script as well. So that is why you will find this value here. And what it allows is, like for example, I don't want it to be 90, I want it to be 10 or say 100 or any value that I may want it to be. Then I can change directly from here. I don't have to change it in the script. So that's there. So once you click on cube here in the hierarchy, you will get all those options. So on in the at the very bottom of it, there will be, so all those are components only. Okay, so which are there by default. If you want to add any more components, what you do is you click on add component. Now what do you want to add? So what you have to do is, here also you will get a search in this window pane here. So you have to select event trigger. Okay, so if you just type event, you will get everything that is related to event. So here we have one option, event trigger. So what do we want? What we want to do is that whenever I am hovering over the cube, when I'm looking at the cube, I should be able to reverse its direction. Okay, so it will start, it will add one new component here. Now, what type of event do you want? So once you, here you have to do left click, add new event type, left click on this, simply just the way you click on any other application. It will open up a set of events that you can simulate. For example, pointer enter. So what like whatever you want to do you want it to happen even when you just hovering over the object, or do you want it to happen when you look away from the object, or do you want it to happen when you your pointer is pointing downwards or upwards, or do you want it when you click on that object? So, and similarly drag, drop, scroll and everything. So there are so many events that you can simulate here. What we want is we want point click, that whenever I hover over this particular object and I click on top of it, it should reverse its direction. Okay, so this will say list is empty. So here you have a plus sign. So just click on that plus sign. Here you will get options runtime only. Of course, we want this event to happen only when we are running it. So we'll keep it default runtime only. Then it is saying no object and no function. What is object? I told you all those are objects. Now, which one do you want to simulate? We want to simulate the cube. So you have to click on cube and don't release the key. Just bring it here and just drag it on top of that no object. So that will make it include that particular object. Okay, so this is just to show that, okay, on which object in this whole scene do you want this action to happen. So we are saying make this action to happen on top of cube. So now no function. Now you can change the function. Which function do you want? So what are the functions you have? For example, it will, what it is showing here is all this. So is there anything in the transform you want to do, or the mesh filter or the mesh renderer? and all those things. But what we want is, we want to include a function which we have defined inside the rotate script. So we'll go to the rotate, or whatever name you have given, so that will appear here. Now, even inside rotate, there are so many things, but what you have done is you have defined one particular function, which is reverse. Okay. I have, here's one mistake. So I haven't made it public, so that's why it was not visible. So public void reverse. Now I go to function. Okay, I will go to rotate, and now I can see that there is one public function here, reverse. So I just click on this. So what this means is, now I have programmed my application that whenever I click on this object, it should reverse its direction of rotation. And where did I define it? I defined it in the script. So here I had made one mistake. What you have to do is, you have to type public in front of this void reverse, so that it's visible outside the script as well. Sorry. Yeah. So now coming back to our scene. Okay. Now in scene there is no change here, because physically we have already set it to what we wanted it. No physical change we did. We just did some logical change. So now if I run this script, okay, so now I can see that, okay, it is doing what it was doing earlier. Okay, it is doing the same job. 1 second, it's not interactive. Okay, I had to include the physical raycaster as well. Yeah, so physical raycaster will give us that interactive functionality. So I'll go to the main camera, add component. So here I will write GVR physics. Pointer physics raycaster. See. Yeah, now you can see that this dot is actually becoming bigger, which means it has started interacting with the object. Now if I click on this, I just clicked, so that reversed the direction. I click on it again it reverses the direction of rotation. Click again, reverses the direction. Yeah, and if I go out of that object, that dot again becomes smaller, which means that it cannot interact with all those objects. The only object it can interact with is this. So you can have multiple objects. It's not that it's just with one cube it will interact. You can have multiple cubes here, and it will one by one, like on whichever you are hovering, it will start interacting with it. So the last step that I did is, like, if you couldn't follow it, then what I did is I clicked on main camera here, and I clicked on add component, and I searched for GVR pointer physics raycaster. So what you have to do is just search for it, GVR pointer. So there will be a graphic raycaster as well. What we want is physics raycaster. So click on that. That will add this particular component to the camera. So now camera can interact with the object. So, like, just to repeat, we made changes to our script. We added a function which just reverses the direction of rotation, which we are doing in y-axis. We can do it in any of the 3 axes. Like, if I can make this 0.0f and write it here, then it will start rotating in x direction. And then we went back here, we in the cube we added a component called event trigger. In the event trigger we added event type which is pointer click. On the object we dragged and dropped cube, so which listed all the functions related to cube. So it has a rotate script which we have written, which has the reverse function in it. So we clicked on this function. So what we mean by this is that whenever a pointer is clicked, when I'm on top of this object, it should call this particular function, and this function, as we have written in the script, reverses the direction. After that, we added a physics raycaster to our main camera, so that camera can interact with the object, and finally played it. Okay. So this was the main, like very basic functionality of Unity. You can, as I said, that you can consider it like a hello world of Unity. One more thing that you can do is you can change the material as well. Material, by material, what I mean is like the color of that object, or if you want to change the texture of the object. So all that you can also do. So I'll create one more folder here in the assets folder itself called material. Okay, I'll go inside it. I'm creating those folders just so that everything is organized. It's not necessary to create that folder. So what do we want here is material. So you have that among the options in create. Right? So if I go to material, now you will get options. For example, I'll just name this material as red. Okay, I want this particular object to be red. So then I go to this option here on the inspector window. When I click on the material, I go to the inspector window, and then I click OK. What color do I want? Say I want like pure red color here. I'll click on that. I'll close this window. So where do I want this material to be? I want it to be on the object. So there are two ways I can do it. I can just drag and drop it on top of cube, or I could just simply drag and drop it on the cube here. So both the things are allowed. So now you can see that object has changed its color. So this is the way we make the scene more realistic, because in nature everything is not just in grays and blues. It has various colors. So all those colors we can provide from here, or if we want different texture for that plane or object, that also we can do. Right now we are looking at it from the bottom, so it's just looking black. There is just a shadow of it. Yeah, so that sums up our today's session.
Ritesh, can we open up for the question and answer sessions?
Yeah, sure.
Sir, please repeat.
Dear participants, any questions?
Sir, repeat the steps for material.
Okay, steps for material. Okay. One second. Yeah, so what I've done is I've gone to the main assets folder. I created a new folder called materials, which, as I said, is not an important step, but it is good if you do that, so that everything is organized. Then inside materials, you go on again, right click, create. So here you have all the options. Like earlier we were using C# script. What we want now is a material. So you click on material. So this will give you a default material. You can name it, for example, if I name it blue. Okay, and now currently it is just gray. Like even if I have named it blue, it doesn't mean that it is blue. So I have to accordingly change the color. So for that, what we do is we go to this. I click on that particular material. I go to inspector window. There I can see this main maps albedo. In front of that, you will find this color picker, and if you click on that, one such a window will appear. So then you can click on any kind of color that you want, whatever is your choice. Okay, so now you can see that it is appearing blue here, which means it has got that color. Now if I click on it, don't release the left button, drag and drop it on top of cube or whatever object you want to be colored. For example, there is a plane also. Now if I want the plane to be red and object to be blue, I simply drag it, drop it on top of plane. Now you can see that plane is red, object is blue. I can do reverse of it or whatever color I want to choose. So that is just to, like, when you are making an actual scene. So this thing helps a lot to make it more and more realistic and close to reality. So now even in the environment, you will see that everything is visible in those colors only.
Ritesh, there is
Yeah.
one more message in the chat box.
Oh. It is for you, sir, that if you can provide the recording later, because ma'am missed the first 10 minutes of the lecture.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah,
So
so that's
the
sums up this
recording
session.
will be provided, Santosh Desai? Recording of
Yes,
the entire session?
Yes.
yes, sir.
Okay.
As per the norms of AICTE, we are supposed to record all the sessions, and it will be submitted to AICTE. AICTE, they will be publishing it on their website.
But can we have it earlier than that? Because
Uh,
we want to get
uh,
updated on some of the points.
yeah, I think that will be possible. However, I will cross-check with the AICTE coordinators and I will let you know.
Okay.
Yes, you can possibly put it on a drive or somewhere and share the link with everyone. And
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, so this sums up the this session. I hope everybody could follow, and everyone could get their cube rotated and interact with it. I'm open to questions.
Ritesh, have you prepared any procedure, whatever you are explaining?
Okay.
Was it documented as a procedure, as a manual or something like that?
As a manual, I haven't, because sir had told that we are going to make recordings, so
Yeah.
that would have been redundant.
Okay.
So that I haven't done, but if you need, I'll prepare one. That's not.
Yeah, some basic steps, if you can prepare, it will be useful for all the participants.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay. Not
I have
completely,
few-
but at least a
Yeah,
step
yeah.
by step, no?
Yeah. No, it won't take much time. It's
I
fine.
also missed a couple of steps, so I want to
Okay.
try again,
Yeah.
rotating the cube. So, okay.
Yeah, I can understand, like 1.5 hour and
Yeah.
all the distant learning, it makes it a bit difficult. But yeah, I'll
Okay.
write those steps down, and now onwards, like, we'll make sure that we have a document.
Yeah,
for
next
every
4
step.
days also. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Sir. Yeah, any questions for this session? I'm stopping my presentation. I'm open to questions.
Yeah. Participants, any doubts? I think nobody is responding. That means
It was a good session. I could also learn a lot of things. So thank you for the informative session. So what are the things tomorrow?
Yes, sir. Tomorrow we'll do the basic understanding of the process simulator that we are going to use, OpenModelica. Then other components of the VR that we told you, that CodeSys is there. Then Blender is there for creating a 3D model. So these 3 components we are going to discuss about tomorrow, with the one application, of course.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So the session was good, but
Thank
I'm a bit slow. So if that video is there, or
Yeah, recording, as I
If you
said,
provide, yeah.
Santosh sir will provide that, so you can follow the with that, and I'll make a document also, which
Yes.
lists also all the steps that we have done today, so that makes it
Okay.
easier for you to.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Santosh sir,
Okay.
actually, the session was really great. The only issue was I had some problem with my laptop and I could not catch up with this training. Actually, it was awesome training, and I am very much interested in this particular field. If you can actually send the recording, sir, we can practice one more time. Otherwise, we'll forget very soon.
Agreed, madam. I strongly agree with your point that there is every possibility that we may forget what we have done. I will check with the coordinators, and if they give us the permission, I can also share it from my drive, and I think they will also agree to the point, and it will be done so.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ritesh sir.
Thank you.
Ritesh sir, is there any chance of having at least one game in 3D if time permits?
Yeah, we can create games, but yeah, that goes out of
Can
scope
we
of
not get one?
this FDP. Because here we will be talking more about the physical, simulating a physical process, and in terms of that, so in a way it goes out of the scope of this FTP. But of course, and as I said, that this is open source, so uh, mm, basic games like Angry Bird and all that, you can easily make them if you see tutorials online. So once you get a hold of environment, Unity environment, you can make such kind of easy games yourself.
I also sir, various types of events.
I couldn't hear you, but you said,
Hello, Ritesh.
yeah,
Ritesh, am I audible?
oh, very low, but yes, go ahead. I can hear.
So actually, I'm expecting some more events on the gaming objects
Okay,
as
okay,
a practical.
all right, all right. Yeah, yeah. So I understand you might be working on this already, which I could figure out in the morning session as
No,
well.
sir, no, I'm not working
Yeah.
actually. But
Yeah.
I have.
So which is there? So yeah, as I said that there are various applications that we discussed in the morning session. Gaming is one of them. But what I'm saying is that that goes out of the scope of this FTP. Because here we are going to discuss about process simulation and how we can interact it with the VR. So here, because that is not there in the our agenda for the FDP, so I'm
Yes, sir.
sorry, that will go out of scope.
Agenda.
But otherwise, if you want to do it on your own, you will get a good hold of working with Unity with this FDP, and then later on you can proceed with your learnings online. There are several resources available on YouTube and even on the Unity website as well, as for training and uh, making all the basic stuff.
Actually, if you explain more about the events, then that will bring the interest for the participants. That's what I mean to say.
Events are there in the agenda document that has been given.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. The brochure has all the details of all activities that we are going to do in all 5 days.
Brochure is also being mailed to all the participants. Uh, did you receive the mail, sir? Participant who was just now interacting with Mr. Ritesh.
Yes, sir. Yes. Myself, Yogesh Bhosle. Yes, sir. I received
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Hope you have received the brochure as well as the document to download the software, the procedure, the steps that needs to be followed in order to download the software and install the same.
Yes, sir. I received and I installed all the softwares. I have following
Yeah,
that well also.
yeah. So any other questions?
No, sir. That's any from my side. Thank you.
Okay. So a quick note to the to all the participants: a mail has been posted, which comprises the link to provide the feedback for the first day. So I request you all to provide the feedback by 6 o'clock. Yeah, Lakshmi madam, you are having You have raised your hand. You can proceed. Lakshmi Madam. Am I audible? Lakshmi Madam. Ritesh, am I audible?
Yeah, yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay. One participant has raised. Okay. Okay. I think. Lakshmi Madam.
Maybe
1
accidentally.
second. Hello. Yeah. So I think the participants might have followed what we have discussed so far, and if they have any doubts regarding the same, we can also take up some of the questions tomorrow's session as well.
Yeah,
So
sure.
with this, I would like to thank Ritesh Sharma once again for sparing his time and giving us a brief overview of how to go ahead with this particular software, Unity 3D. Okay, thank you once again, and we will be meeting tomorrow, 5 minutes prior to the scheduled time, that is 10 a.m. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.